In a quiet village tucked between rolling green hills, there stood a crooked old tree by the dirt road. It hadn't borne fruit in years, and a jagged scar from a lightning strike ran down its bark like a wound never healed. The villagers called it the broken tree. Beneath it sat a splintered wooden bench, faded by time and weather. Each morning, without fail, an old man named Eli would walk slowly to the bench, his cane tapping softly against the earth. He wore the same brown coat, patched in places, and carried a small pouch of nuts he sometimes scattered for birds. He would sit in silence, eyes fixed down the road, as if waiting for something or someone. People passed him daily, traders, schoolchildren, farmers. Most gave him only a glance. Some called him mad. Others whispered stories. That he was cursed, that his family had vanished, that he had lost his mind in grief. No one ever stopped to ask. No one ever stayed. One rainy afternoon, a teenage boy named Kelechi missed his bus after school. He had a long walk ahead, and the sky had begun to weep. As he hurried past the broken tree, he noticed Eli seated as usual, drenched, unmoving. Kelechi slowed down. Something about the old man in the rain stirred a feeling he couldn't name. He walked over. "Why do you sit here every day?" he asked, unsure if he'd even get a response. Eli turned his head slowly, meeting his eyes with a gentle, weary look. "Because I'm waiting," he said. "For my son." Kelechi blinked. "Your son?" he asked. "Where is he?" Eli sighed, his breath visible in the cold air. "Gone. Many years now. We had an argument. I let pride do the talking, told him to leave. He did. I thought I was strong, standing my ground. But I was just loud and afraid. Afraid to listen, to understand. I hurt him with my certainty." The boy sat beside him, raindrops pattering on the bench's edge. "Do you think he'll come back?" he asked softly. "I don't know," Eli said, voice low. "But I sit here in case he does. If he ever walks down that road again, I want him to see me. Not the man who cast him out, but the father who waited, hoping for a second chance." Kelechi looked out at the road. No one was coming. But in that stillness, under that broken tree, something passed between them. A quiet truth. Sometimes the deepest wounds aren't visible. And sometimes the greatest act of love is simply to wait. The world is filled with voices shouting to be right, to be seen, to win. But true strength lies in being gentle enough to care. Eli's story isn't rare. It's lived every day in families, friendships, politics, and nations. Too often, pride stands where compassion should. We forget that beneath every face is a life full of pain, dreams, and reasons, and that the smallest act of empathy can be a turning point in someone's life. So if the world must change, let it begin not with louder voices, but with soft